You want to know what I learned?
What did you
I
learn?
learned I learned that it is much more efficient to use prayer as an open channel to transmit gratitude versus to use it as a request line.
Mhm.
Welcome to 25 to Lifestyle Sins to Thrive. What up, though? We in the building with the Wife School Podcast.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back. Hope you are doing well today.
I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well.
I'm swell. If I were any better, I'd be 3 people.
All right. All right. That's new.
So, what do you think about this topic, just scrolling across the bottom, focusing on youth development versus repairing adults?
I think that is very see, I'm trying to grasp the right word. I think it's very important, very detrimental. Whenever I look at the youth and see the state of them, I always think back. I always, 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 always. I don't know if I'll quote it right, but I think about the quote from Frederick Douglass: "It's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men," or
Yep.
same as strong girls than to repair broken women. And it just relates to psychology. What you don't get, or the things that we experience in our youth, usually appear as adults, and when we start interacting socially and with other people in relationships. So it's like it's that is the foundation where we need to start, as opposed to the adults.
Yes. So I opened up this segment with the statement of that prayer works best when used as an open channel to transmit gratitude versus using it as a request line. And I think that aligns with this topic in a way that, I want to be very conscientious of how I'm approaching this topic, because what I'm finding right now more than ever is that everyone is stuck in complaint and finger pointing mode,
Mhm.
and there's not a lot of solutions. So instead of requesting change, which requires more energy,
Mhm.
takes like and radio technology, it takes more energy to receive than it does to transmit. So what I would like to transmit are experiences. And just like you said, when I think about the youth, I look back to my own childhood, and I can see the things that were deficient, that caused me obstacles in my adulthood, but I can also see the things that I was instilled with that sets me apart.
Yeah.
And I can see that shit is not only the children, but it's a lot of adults walking around here who haven't really had any type of upbringing.
Yeah.
And, they just been out here freestyling. So,
They call those
it's
pirates.
what happened? What'd you say?
They call those type of people pirates.
Pirates.
Mhm.
Sheesh. Uh, but yeah, it's it's the cliche. You can't teach an old dog new tricks exist for a reason. It's because
Mm,
at some point people are stuck in their ways, and it like they don't have the cognitive ability to shift their mindset. And there's a lot of factors that are environmental, diet, genetics.
mm.
Everybody's just not made up the same. Like when some people get to a certain age, that's all you're gonna get.
That is true. I think you can inspire, like you said, like some older people. I was on TikTok, and it was really interesting what this guy was saying. He was saying that we are like, I know that the formative years are like from 0 to 5 ish, and then um, guardianship is like to like 18 typically.
Yeah,
So he was saying that if the parents don't instill and develop that young adult by 18, which you like need to start transitioning, into life and adulthood, it's going to take double that when they get older to even, like you said, look back. That's why a lot of people start going to therapy around their 30s, 40s. Now they're trying to fix things because they're like, something's wrong. So now they're learning it took twice as long to develop from when they were supposed to. And I
right.
was like, that's kind of deep. That's crazy. Because now we got to supplement, like you said, now we got to do all this other stuff to put there that should have been there, but we can't. Like you
You
said,
gotta
we get all that energy putting into like blaming and finger pointing and requesting. Okay, now we have to just be and let that go and change.
Yeah, nah, one of my pet peeves in life is backtracking. I don't like to backtrack.
Why?
It's redundant. It wastes time. Like, if I can, if it's in my power to get it right the first time, then that's the way I would rather do it versus having to go back and do it over. So, this is really what we're talking about is getting to a certain point or age in life and understanding, like you said, like, hey, something's off. Now you got to do that shadow work to backtrack
Mhm.
and figure out, what happened. And, this is not only is not everyone capable, most people aren't even willing.
Mhm.
And, I know that's a generalized statement, but I think there's a lot of evidence to support that. Um, and, I'm really basing that off of what people are focused on when it comes to, what they're prioritizing
Mhm.
their conversations around. And it's
Right.
not the youth,
That's true.
it's each other. It's, men
So
are
you
doing
can't you
this.
can't talk. See, the thing is with adults, that's the lecture. With children, you have to do with the children. You got to model and show them. With
Right.
adults, we have the capacity to sit for a mass amount of time and listen. Youth, you got to be running in there with them. You have to get in the dirt with them. So that's the difference. And
Mm,
so I don't know if people have energy to do that, but because, like you said, the convenience and tablets and things that are distraction, and we don't prioritize certain things, you have to really kind of become a kid. to get there with the children. I don't know. It's just different. It's a different attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You have to get on their level,
Mm-hmm.
see things through their eyes,
Mm.
and, really put yourself back in that childlike state to remember what it is that you might have needed and didn't get. And, like, this is where, that approach is, I'm not going to say is lost, but I don't think
Mhm.
that's the focus. I don't think in general, the mass of adults are focused on the children. Like, we're focused on each other.
Right.
And it's, cyclical, because in some instances, it's going to be more painful to try to remove the scar than just to accept it.
Right.
And we're definitely not going to teach our kids the proper way to do things by continually showing them a scar that hasn't healed.
Mm. That's
This is really what I'm finding interesting is how so many people are talking about they're on their healing journey or they're healed and, all this other stuff, but they're still talking about their trauma.
right.
They're still bringing it up. They're still positioning themselves as a victim.
Right.
You can't be healed and a victim at the same time, I don't believe.
Right.
So, our children need to see whole individuals,
Right.
because
Absolutely.
that's what they're going to emulate. Like,
But
we're
the
actually,
thing is, you have to do that. But like you said, I think there's some good backtracking, maybe for the sake of my offspring. You know what I'm saying? I'll backtrack and make sure, okay, like you said, I'm showing up in this type of way because I remember when I didn't, that's when I didn't like. Okay, my parents didn't do this. Okay, so now I'm gonna backtrack and say, now I'm gonna validate my children and things like that. I'm gonna show them the attention that I didn't get. Not try to go over it, but I know that that was a deficiency that I had. So I'll backtrack in the positive way for their sake, for their benefit. But yeah, at some point you do have to what do you call it? My dad said shift gears. You know what I'm saying? You got to shift.
yeah.
You're gonna burn out. You're gonna burn out the engine. So it's like, yeah, we have to like get out of our own way and just like have the courage to go forward. I'm divorced, right? But I gotta, if I want love, I can't stay here and on the couch all day. I have to get out, get happy, be approachable, and like, okay, welcome somebody into my life, and things like that. Be not afraid, have courage. But
Mm-hmm.
it's easier to stay in that low state than for some, not all, but it just seems it's just easier and comfortable for some folks to stay in
Well,
low.
misery loves company too. So, when you
Mhm.
have a bunch of people who are all in this low victim state, then,
Mhm.
you're going to be less inclined to want to elevate up out of it. And, this is where I can see that, just really a lot of projection going on where individuals are acting like they're speaking in general, but really they're specifically talking about the things that they dealt with in their past partners.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know why, don't judge me for it, but I came across an episode of Pop the Balloon,
Oh, I love
and
puppy.
I didn't watch the whole thing. It was just like one clip.
Mhm.
It was sometimes when the algorithm suggests me, I'd be like, all right, you're gonna keep showing this to me, I'll click it.
Okay.
So I was watching this one episode, and the guy was, they asked him, what do you like to do in your spare time? And he was the one picking, it was a bunch of women. He was the only guy.
Okay.
So they asked him, what do you like to do in your spare time? And, he was walking and working. And then he said, in video games.
Yeah.
And then one girl was like, pow! I will say, man, like the women be really aggressive with stabbing that damn balloon. Like,
Yeah.
like oh, fuck. Sheesh. Like
You should go in there. They would definitely go like pop it. You'll see how it is.
You got some aggression, like, but anyway, so they asked her like, well, why did you pop your balloon? And she instantly went into, oh well, I'm divorced, and one of the problems that I had with my husband was he played video games all the time, and I'm like, you need therapy,
yeah,
because this ain't that. Like, he ain't him.
Absolutely. Every guy's not the same. It's not. I mean, but they're not. Sorry.
Right. But that's what, I can clearly see. But that's part of the agenda to make us monolithic so that the worst of the generalizations doesn't miss us. Like, I myself am exhausted from constantly defending versions of myself that don't exist because someone is projecting someone else's idiosyncrasies onto me.
Yeah, I've been doing that too, and I did that when I was on a live with Trinity, and so sometimes to be relatable, I will put myself in a sentence like, yeah, all Black women or whatever, or yes, we do this, yes, we do that. But in fact, I don't do those things. She said, why would you claim something that you don't do? And I was like, for the sake of this and that, like you said, defending those different, but she's like, you're not that anymore. And I'm like, you're right. But sometimes people will think that you're coming off as better than them. And I'm like, no, actually, I'm way down here. I'm way down here. And like you said, my thankfulness and my gratitude, and that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's up here. The pomp is like, no, baby. I'm way down.
I'll say two things about that. And one of them is something that I've been expressing to people a lot recently. And that is, don't couple yourself in with the problem. Your body doesn't know that you don't mean not me when you say we. And the other thing, what was I going to say? I forgot. I forgot. It'll come back to me. But when it comes to our personal experiences, I think we need to preference statements when we're having conversations with people. If we're going to use ourselves as an example, then say I, or I believe, or I think. But we're making generalized statements, and this is where things get a little bit murky because now you run the risk of projecting and arguments start and all this other stuff, right? But man, I really forgot what the other thing I was gonna say.
Defending yourself, versions of you that are no longer there.
It was based off of something that you said when you're talking to Trinity. I don't know. I've had a long day, but it's gonna irk me now. Well, it's not okay. I'm hard on myself.
You're an older gentleman. Just accept it.
Oh wow! Just call me senile. That's I'm over here on my Joe Biden. So I'm over here glitching out like Mitch McConnell.
Oh my shoes.
But that's my fault. That's why I need to have my pen and paper and write stuff down, take
Yeah.
notes. But no, but coupling yourself in with the problem is
Mhm.
definitely something that I see a lot of people doing. Because, like I said, they're speaking genuinely, generally. Oh, I
Mhm.
think that's the thing. Yeah, that's what I was going to go to. Yes, I got it. Yes, it came back because you were saying running the risk of sounding arrogant.
Mhm.
All right, we about to really get into it. We about to get into a lesson right now.
Hey, this is what I just observed, just telling
Because
my story. They're like, well, who would listen to you? It's like, okay.
so I was doing a live on Instagram earlier
Mhm.
by myself, just talking to myself and getting to some conclusions. And I got to one that was very, very poignant. And right when I got to it, Instagram ended the live.
Oh
But
no.
it was too late. It was already in there. Like I had received what I needed to receive, and it's about to come out right now. So, as melanated masterpieces, in my observation, this is definitely one of the things that we are suffering from collectively, and that is we are inflicted with humility,
Mhm.
where we've been taught to be humble, when in reality, we've just been taught to be docile. And, there's nothing wrong with humility. It's just, how are you showcasing it? I am humble to the Most High solely. I am humble for the gifts and skills, talents, and experiences that have been, bestowed upon me. Like I'm mind blown almost every day. Uh, but to other people, never. Why? We're like who are like eye to eye. So, what I was analyzing earlier was specifically for melanated men, but it's true for the melanated women too. We're often painted with the brush of arrogance and aggressiveness when we're really just being assertive. There's no room for us to be assertive in our
But
speech.
okay, but we, like you said, we do have to then try to inject sort of, we have to inject the humility in some type of way that it is respectful to you. Like now, say if I'm an assertive woman
Mhm.
and I'm just like, oh, Rumble, you don't know what you're talking about. That. See, now I'm being disrespectful. But even though I'm maybe a good person or whatever, and I should exercise, like you said, I should exercise that. But now we can't, like you said, use it to finger point and weaponize against one another. So we got to have that balance. What do you say to?
Mhm.
That's what I say. It's good, but we have to learn how to exercise it. I don't think we just be like full on, like you said, either don't be full humble, but not like be a pushover. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we fine tune it so that we are not in this war or this conflict and type of thing.
All right. Well, all right. And I understand exactly. There's definitely got to be balance in communication, and I'm definitely not saying just be untethered and unapologetically obnoxious. uh, but all right. So all right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read the etymology of arrogance first,
Okay.
and then we're going to juxtapose that with assert.
Okay.
And there's something very specific and unique to analyze in between these two words.
Okay.
So, arrogance, a manifesting feeling of superiority of one's worth or importance, combined with contempt for others, presumption, pride, haughtiness, assuming, overbearing, insolent, to ask a favor, entreat, request, apparently a figurative use of a pi verb meaning literally to stretch out the hand. So it's like entitlement.
Mhm.
I didn't even recognize this part of request earlier, but I think that it's in alignment with how we began this live and saying, it's more important now to transmit the ideas that we learn versus requesting change behavior from other people, because that's arrogant.
Yes.
Like, who am I to request of you to change?
Mhm.
And the most important part of this is combined with contempt for others. So
Right.
superiority, like some people are superior in nature than
Yeah.
others in certain aspects.
Yeah.
That's just life.
Mhm.
But the contempt, when it's married with contempt, that's where arrogance comes in. If I am superior in nature, then there's no reason to step on someone else's neck that is below me
Mhm.
or less than in capacity in whatever aspect.
Leadership versus a boss type of thing.
Right. And that's where humility comes in to me, is like, if I know that I possess qualities that make me superior in nature, then I'm going to be humble to the Most High for giving me that, and I'm not going to need to make other people feel less than. I'm grateful.
That's a lot of control, and that's honorable. But like, you could see how it can make that person feel like I rule the world.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's crazy. It's such
All
a
right.
like hair split.
Oh, it is. It's very close, because we about to get deep. We about to get deep. All right. So first, I'm always gonna let everyone know that this program and project is sponsored by Commercial Universe Boutique, a brand merging mental health with merch for you melanated masterpiece. And one of my favorite designs that I made last year is this guy right here. Gratitude is grace. On a etymology level, gratitude and grace is the same word, gwir. Same root word, same word. So this is actually a redundant statement. But what I wanted to explore is the notion of gratitude for what you've been blessed with shows up like you extending grace to others who haven't been given those same opportunities, skills, or what have you. So now we need to get into assert, because there's a very stark difference that is that line, that thin line between arrogance and gratitude and grace and all of these things, and just overall awareness. That's really what we're talking about here. So assert, declare, vindicate, maintain, or defend by words or measures. To join together, put in a row. Stand up for one's rights or authority. So as melanated people, once you come out of the fog of oppression and you're not acting out of a space of inferiority, and you have the ability to speak confident because you understand your value, then you're going to be able to assert. You're going to be able to assert your right to stand up for yourself, to represent yourself properly. And that's where usually with the position that we're put in, people are marginalizing us and dismissing or being dismissive of us to the point where, all right, now I'm going to have to assert who I actually am in an authoritative way so that there's no confusion, so that I am maintaining who I am or who I know to be as a person, because that's what's important for my mental health. For me to maintain who I know myself to be. And I have a right to do that. I have a right to defend who I am as a person with my words. So if someone puts me in a position to where now I'm speaking assertively, definitively, this is where we're being gaslit into saying that, oh, you're being arrogant or you're being aggressive, when it's not that. No, the other person's just being passive aggressive. Now, how this relates to the children is we teach our children to be humble, to be docile, to be meek. You know, go over there, be quiet, sit down, stop making so much noise. Versus allowing them to express and assert who they believe themselves to be. And that's very important in my observation when you're talking about forming a healthy adult, is instilling a level of confidence in a child to let them know that it is okay to be as they are.
Right.
And to cultivate that understanding, like, hey, it is okay for you to express who you believe that you are.
Mm-hmm.
But our children really don't have that environment, and like to
I think
foster that.
Well, how this is lady, I don't even know her name, but she says there's an aspect of like just looking into the Black experience or history in America. It's intersectional because it's like so much stuff going, like here we are in the middle, but we're affected by this finance, history, housing, or social justice, like so much that we've been injected to, like all these childhood vaccines, like it's just too much. It's like, so we're so polluted. We don't have. It seems like it, we don't have the foundations to create the healthy, secure connections that we're supposed to naturally just show one another. You know, I should be able to see you like, wow, that hello there, like, you know, not be like elusive, but like embrace. And that allows me to like, wow, I feel safe. I feel safe. They love me. I can be comfortable who I am. Like you said, that environment, we don't have the family of the mom or dad, or like it might be the overweight mom where she doesn't want to hear the noise, so she's telling you to be quiet, or she's always frustrated, or things like that. You know what I'm saying? There's always something that has caused our family environment to be off, which spills out to other aspects.
No, that's right. That's facts. And I was just saying that to a young lady earlier.
I do it sometimes, and have to go back and apologize. You know, I don't just let it fester. I know that I have to actively go back and say, I didn't mean to say it like that. Let's do a rewind. I apologize. Okay, what were you trying to say? I have to actively do that.
Kudos to you. That's real big. And kids need that. They need to see, like, that's another way of coming down to the child's level, is
Mhm.
not acting superior, is, not being arrogant to, like, as if you're infallible.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's
but I
true.
was I was saying this to a young lady earlier, just saying how when I took psychology classes for the first time, that my first thought after leaving the first class was all quote unquote black people suffer from PTSD, and
Mhm.
realizing that we're all damaged goods right now. And she kind of had an issue with that, like, we're not damaged goods, but kind of had to explain it, like, we are. Like, we traumatized AF fire,
Yeah.
poisons, like, just like everything you said, like, it's we hold science
It,
experiments
it,
out here.
it is bad enough. Now, I learned that it passes down genetically. Well, Lord, what can I do now?
That part, that
And it's
part.
crazy. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, I'm a biblical person, but I like information. I
Mhm.
do. So I'm like, wow, I want to know how things work. Then that just makes me stronger in what I believe, and that backs up those things, like, physical versus spiritual. And then just to see it collectively, it's just like, wow, your mind just like, and then it's amazing. It really is, and how much affects the human, and how much people know that affects a human. Certain
That
sounds,
part.
certain colors, certain smells. This is it's something. It goes deep.
And that's why I get so much flack on every social media platform that I'm on, because I know these things. Like,
Mm.
I've been trained in a multitude of different ways to know and understand how to utilize these things in a creative way. But saying that, because I have this knowledge, I can also see how they're being used, or how it has been used to
Mhm.
get us in the place that we are in. And I'm verbalizing it, which is a problem, because now we got the power to do something about it. Like, once you recognize what the issue is, you can
Heard
you
of
can change the circumstances.
it.
So, and that's really all that's important. Yeah, we might be damaged, but that doesn't mean we are beyond repair.
Mhm. Right.
And especially if our focus is to instill preventive measures in our children so they don't become damaged,
Right.
because generational curses are a real thing.
Mhm.
And the way, excuse me, the way to break them is to intentionally implement corrective actions. But if collectively we're not recognizing that there's a problem or what that problem is, then one-off corrective actions really is not going to be a catalyst for change.
Right.
Like, we need this in mass.
Right. I don't know if you were watching. I was watching Hardly Initiated tonight, and it kind of talking about. It's kind of referencing what you're talking about. Anton Daniels was talking about, don't marry single moms. This is how you're supposed to do it. A husband, a wife, a child. That's how it's supposed to be. So some people can accomplish that. But the way he said it kind of was border like, arrogant and things like that, and but assertive, because he was saying, this is what I believe. So that is his assertiveness that can be like kind of there. And then the other guy was like, well, hey, we have this problem right now. There are a lot of single mothers in mass, but that doesn't mean that they don't have a chance to have a chance at love or whatever, making it right, you know,
Right.
getting it. So it was like, we have, like you said, we have this problem going on. We got the children, and then we got the adult. And so it's like we're trying to fix both things at the same time.
Yeah. um and and the whole single mom aspect of the gender war is uh, so contentious for a very specific reason.
Okay.
And it's because, in my observation, that single mom lifestyle has been promoted and glorified. But in reality, like that's not what men desire.
Right.
So now we have this counterintuitive environment that everyone is functioning in or trying to function. And the talking points and belief systems are starting to overlap, and things are getting very messy because you have men who really are still operating mostly from the same program that was instilled in our grandfathers and great grandfathers. And now we're talking to a version of a woman who is brand new on the planet. Like, you guys have never existed in this capacity before.
Okay.
Like that's real. Like, this is kind of like the second time today that I've been like articulating that, because I think it's really
Yeah, I
important to
believe in
analyze.
GMOs. Okay, I believe in hybrids and GMOs, so I agree. Okay.
But I think it's very important to analyze that, though. I mean, in the last 30 to 50 years, the professional, I guess the level of professional women has risen, right? So now it's created this imbalance in the family dynamic where people are trying to figure out who is the decision maker, because before it didn't really matter. Like,
Yeah.
if a man was the breadwinner bringing in the money, it was still possible for the female to be the decision maker and really to be the authority in the house. It's just that now, if that woman is still facilitating that role and she's making just as much money as the man, now there absolutely is going to be a power dynamic. Because now you get this, well, why the hell should I listen to you?
Yeah. I don't know. I guess even after there's nothing wrong, which I've seen that men, how they are, they don't mind if their woman is successful or doing their thing or running their
No.
little career, or oh, you're a millionaire. Okay, cool. But if you do not know how to respect me in this union, then what is my purpose here?
It's that easy.
It's just like, then it's not that hard. And it's like, you want him, you want the benefits of that man, but you can't, you know, be disrespectful. It's just that's the way I see it.
Full stop.
Full stop.
That's just it. That's is what it is. Like, I don't care how much money you got. You disrespectful. Like,
Mhm.
it's a wrap. Like, I don't even know what to do with you.
Yeah. It's
Like,
like, it's
I can't do anything with you.
not, you're not, I'm supposed to be the leader, right? But now you're trying to make me the janitor.
That's where I'm saying, like, that's where the problem is with the conversation of single moms, is that through that promotion of that single mom lifestyle comes verbiage and ideology that emasculates men.
Right. Right.
And how that's problematic is when these women are saying that they still want a man. Like, that's where all this fighting is going on.
But they want it. The thing is, it's fear, and it's, my friend Carl said so many times, it's you lack vulnerability. I've been in that way. I've been in survival mode underneath a man's leadership. So it's like, okay, cool, whatever, but this is my husband. So okay, I got to balance not saying things. And maybe I did say things that were emasculating. That was my fault. And I had to take accountability. I had to go back and apologize. I apologize for saying things like that. You know what I'm saying? But okay, that was my choice. So I have to be in this marriage. That's it. But it's like, okay, I didn't say, well, I don't need you. See, that's the wrong thing to say. I never said that. I
Right.
ain't about to say that. And the women work so hard. Okay, they're in survival mode. They hold on to the resource instead of the man that's supposed to take them out of that survival mode and let him be the resource, because he's going to give you the intimacy, the provision, and the protection. Your money is just money. It's not intelligence. It's not love. It's not leadership. It's not the tough love that you need, the emotional regulation when you're getting all crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's not none of that. It's just
Yeah.
money. Yeah.
Nah, yeah, and that's where things have become convoluted. Is that
My priority.
yeah, the money has been convoluted with leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Like those two things don't exist in the same vector. Like they're like you don't like. How do I? What? As you know, leadership is a quality that you can see in children.
Mm-hmm.
And this is really how we're deficient with, not raising our children correctly, is not identifying who they are at the earliest age possible, not seeing the traits that they possess so that we can cultivate them.
Right. Right. And that's when you push them into activities. But we
That
too
part.
busy, we too tired, we too poor and broke. But we'll get our $300 weaves and our BBLs, right? We'll take the children's tax money, go to DR and get a BBL instead of putting your kid in a gifted program so that he can be the next engineer or the baseball team to cultivate team playership. I mean, teamwork and all those things.
No, that's the thing that even, just using myself as an example, one point of contention with me and my son's mom is me trying to express to her that, okay, he's like me, he's artistic. So of course he wants to draw on the wall. Like, it's ideally, no, that's not optimal. But, it's very easy to make accommodations for that, to create an environment, where now he can develop that urge to want to write on the wall.
Absolutely. It's called get some paper and tape it on the wall. Or get an easel. Hey,
But
boom.
that part, some
There you
chalk.
go.
Like, like there's a million things we can do.
Go outside, draw on the ground. No, it's not in your house.
Yeah, that part. But but that's where it's specifically with melanated children, our creative skills and talents aren't cultivated at all at an early age. Because we've been taught that success looks like getting a good ass job.
It's so limited. It's so limited.
Yeah, I definitely fall into that. Like that's my trauma. Okay. That's my trauma. I should have been an artist. I should have never not been an artist.
Likewise. Here I am working every night.
So it's even Kanye talked about these things 10 years ago. It's our brains work a very specific way, which is why they spend so much energy to keep us down en masse so that they can, pick and choose, single us out, and extract the individuals that they can use against us to keep us in that state. It's just a cycle. That's why this project is mainly focused on telling the stories of quote unquote regular people, and getting out of this mindset of looking to celebrities and athletes as leaders. Like it's
I
absurd.
always do that. It's crazy. And I heard a clip from Malcolm X, and it's really interesting. It's like we're doing the same thing years later. He said that often in our community, we tend to make these celebrities our leaders. And they're not. They're just highly paid employees. You know what I'm saying? That do give us that escapist. So why do I want to mimic escaping? I need to be facing things.
Mm.
But okay, let's be entertained. Now we got AI. Okay, now let's be entertained. Okay, now we're gonna be loving on robots soon. Hey, Robinson, this is my husband. Android. He's a smart man. I can download whatever I want.
It's my
Know,
Andy 6000.
he can braid my hair and do my taxes. So I never have to leave.
Wow.
So
Why are you playing it? I think there's a lot of women who would sign up for that. And men too.
I probably the men would adopt it sooner, maybe because they just don't want to deal with the headache of a lady.
They already have. It's just not all AI automated in robotic form. But shit, women anyway. That's a whole nother. We're about to go down the rabbit hole. But it's to me, it's a very recognizable issue. It's just that the multitude of us are comfortable, and that's an uncomfortable truth to have to acknowledge, because you said something very, very poignant, and that is mimic escaping. And this is why our communities are in shambles, because the talented 10th of us, the intellectuals, aren't cultivated. Like, we're not celebrated. We're not looked to. We're ostracized, made fun of, bullied, to the point where we want to fucking escape. Like, I'm out of here.
I'm on a sabbatical, okay?
Like, eject. Like, get me out of the zoo. And I definitely can relate to that too, because like, I'm in my environment, like, yo, this shit is bananas. Like, this can't be it. Like, y'all cannot accept this as reality. Oh, I'm just a kid. All right, well, let me show you. I'm about to be out of here. Like, because like that's who I was. I was the 11-year-old trying to talk sense into fucking adults. Excuse my language. I'm fake trying to, stop cursing.
Oh, you're fake trying. Okay.
in my mind, because that's the first time I verbalized it. So
okay, I like that.
Now, and trying is not really doing. So trying is fake anyway.
Oh, okay.
I'm attempting to make a change.
Okay, I like it.
Maybe. I like curse words. It's like consolidation of language, especially when we're talking about English. It's all curse words, but that's another topic for another day. But it's like this is it. Like this is what this whole project is for, to shed light on this issue, is that we are not focusing on the leaders in child form. We're not focused on the future entrepreneurs in child form. We're not focusing on the future politicians in child form. Like, we're not only are we not focused on them, like usually the adults that lack the intellectual capacity to be the best version of themselves will down these kids. Oh, this little ninja think he's smart. Or who do you think you are? You're gonna learn. I had a cousin. He an asshole, but I remember this is trauma. I'm about to share some trauma with you.
This is great.
This is great. Okay. I think I was about 6 or 7 years old, whatever second grade is, and I had a Rubik's cube. I got a Rubik's cube. I think my dad gave it to me, and I was a beast. I could do it. Like I had it memorized and everything. Like I understood it. Because it was mine, and I play with it every day. I understood it. Like I could do it. I could turn it around and be like, all right, watch me put it back together. So at the time, you know, this was in the 80s when I was growing up, Rubik's Cube was like new. It was hot. It was a hot toy in the streets. And I remember my cousin, he came over, he probably was about, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, 13 years older than me. And he's like, oh, cool, you got a Rubik's Cube? Like, let me see it. And he was like trying to do it. And he was like, man, I don't know, this is impossible. And I was like, no, it's not. All you got to do is, and I did it. And he looked and he recognized that I knew the patterns. And he was like, give me that thing. And he took it and he shielded me from it. And he just like mixed it up all different types of ways so that I couldn't understand the combinations of like the sequences. Because it's all sequential. It's like, you know, it's just patterns. But if you lose track of the pattern, then you don't know how to backtrack to get it to its, you know, original state. So he did that so that, you know, I would never be able to figure out this Rubik's Cube again.
That was pretty diabolical. I probably would have did the same thing. All right, you're a cheater. All right.
But that's not. But that's the thing. I wasn't cheating. It was mine. It was mine, and I had it. I had it understood. So really, only thing that he did was cheat me from the ability of learning how to fix it, even if someone did that to me, because I would have got to that point. I was still learning it. I hadn't mastered it yet because I was a kid. But you know, had I been able to master it, you could have, you know, took it to another country and had 14 people play with it and came back and gave it to me, and I would have been able to figure it out. There's people who can do that.
Absolutely. Those competitions, I watched those documentaries, and with 3 seconds, you were like, okay. And then people with autism on top of that, you're like, all right. And you know, they definitely know patterns, and because mind works a different way than ours. And I'm like, this is pretty darn amazing.
And you got, you know, they got that machine that spin it like to make sure it's all mixed up. Yeah, it's real. But yeah, no, it's like those are the type of things that we do to our kids. Like we are in competition with our kids a lot of time. And it's really based on that inferiority complex because we don't feel like we have achieved a level of success within ourselves. And you know, it's all in the movies. Oh, you're never gonna be anything. You're gonna be just like me, or you're gonna be just like your dad, or you know, you're not gonna amount to anything, and you know, all these things. And these things are in the movie for a reason. It's art imitating life.
Stick and a bag on the end of the stick.
Right. I'm out of here.
I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. That's all I could think about was the stupid bag.
Yeah, I did that last year.
Oh yeah, oh man.
Yeah, I was at the beach and I grabbed me a big long like Gandalf stick, and me and my son was mobbing. I had my bag tied up and carrying it, gone, walking in the water and everything, looking like a hobo.
Such a rare sight.
But yeah, we got to stop doing this.
Right, absolutely. And I mean, like I said, man, I just like when the Bible be backing up stuff like the child shall lead them. Like literally, it's the future right there. And if we are put in all the stumbling blocks, like you said, speaking spells and things over them and not creating that life. Even the Asian doctor, I don't know what his nationality was, just talking to water and how it looked under the microscope, all the nice crystals,
Oh.
as opposed to, oh, you're this and you're ugly this, and the water looked very dark and murky. So the words that we speak over our children is just as important. I'm very aware that my dad did teach me that, even though he was mean sometimes, but I definitely took that away from him, of speaking life into our children, speaking encouragement, that self-esteem, the confidence, because it comes from, all that validation comes from us first, the parent
Hmm.
and dad. And it's just nice to see. I tell my son, he's dark. I have one light skinned son. I have one dark skin. And oh, look at your beautiful little melanin, my little chocolate drop. And I and stuff like that. He went to school and he's like, yeah, the teacher was like, yeah, he started talking about melanin and stuff. I was like, yeah, I tell him that he has this beautiful melanin, and they call him a melanin king. And so he'll go out, he's going out there and saying that about himself. And then,
That's what's up.
the teachers, they's like, well, he's talking about melanin and stuff. Like, yeah, I know you never heard about it, but that's for him.
Right.
And you just get to hear the byproduct of it. So it was cool, very important.
No, that's dope. That's super dope. Like that's how it's supposed to be. That's exactly that is your son being assertive. He is asserting who he believes himself to be. And he believes himself to be that because that's what he's been taught.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Kudos to you.
Hold on. I'm attempting.
That's I mean that's that's the thing I was saying earlier when I was having a live is
Mm-hmm.
as melanated people in our culture, like we have this sickness within us that we scrutinize ourselves and each other as if we're supposed to be operating from some level of perfection that doesn't exist. And then we don't show each other grace when we fall short. It's like now we're going to use that as a reason to invalidate you because you misstepped. Oh, you tripped. Kill him. Wait, but it was a brick in the way. I didn't see it. Like, so what? Kill him. He's making a race look bad. He's tripping over his own feet. Get rid of him.
We will all be gone. Okay, a mass grave.
But not that's to me, like that's part of the things that's really going on. Especially when we're talking about spiritual warfare, is that you having a lot of people who are operating at a lower state, and they are living the perfect life of debauchery.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody who is conscientiously trying to be righteous minded, like they're just waiting for them to have a misstep so that they can say, see, get him. Meanwhile, they doing everything under the sun.
Yeah.
It's just that, how dare you have the audacity to be good?
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you. As soon as you mess up, I'm gonna let you know about it. I'm gonna try to strip you down to the bone.
Yeah, you pick me.
Right. Man, don't you let them damn harlots get to you.
Yeah, pick me, mammy.
Stay out them rooms.
I can't help it, it just be coming up.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll seek out a demon to slay. I get it.
Yeah, I like playing with fire sometimes. I do get burnt. My crying days have passed. I
No,
got
yeah,
I got my, oh, maybe not. I did get a couple wounds in the war, so that gave me a little like toughness.
well, the practice time is over. We full on now, so
I know, right?
it's it's swing and
After
hit.
championships.
But yeah, nice. it's important to practice what you preach and preach what you practice.
Mm,
Uh oh. But
one,
the
good one.
the 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 stickiness is knowing when and where and what's worth your time, because it's ever ongoing. It's all surrounding us at all times, right? And sometimes the enemies aren't easily identifiable. So, uh, you know,
Mhm.
I'll run in and slay if I see they have someone at bay that has the potential of escaping and they need some help. Like, there's a lot of intentional, misguided actions going on right now. Like, there's a lot of us who have either conscientiously went to the wrong side or unwittingly we're doing, or not we, they're doing the devil's bidding. And it it's creating these situations like we're literally like they're trying to indoctrinate and make their army bigger. So, it's important for us to get out here because at the end of the day, people talk a lot, and the talking is over. Is you, you, you've been going to church and reading these books for how long? At what point did you think, or you never thought that any of it was real? Because spiritual warfare, I think the most pertinent word in that is war.
You got what? I mean, most people, and this is why it seems like you said, people can participate in their debauchery, their foolishness, and it seems so successful, like how it's just like being rampant. So if, like you said, if you're not practicing what you preach and then preaching what you practice, so if you're not on it, you have no legal right to actually war against the thing that has you bound too. You doing it too. So Jesus, like, who without sin cast the first stone? They couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
You the one that tried to bring me over here to call me out, but you couldn't cast a stone at me.
Right.
All right. And the one that did have the ability to do it, he still showed me compassion and told me not to do it again because he's trying to bring us to a new place. But he was able to practice what he preached and preach what he practiced. So he was that one, as opposed to these other people, right? Which was the finger pointing and and things
Right.
like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's we, like you said, we get on this arrogance just because I am here. I don't have to do nothing life or whatever. I don't know. We don't think we have to war, right? We think that it's all easy street, whatever. No, you gotta get dirty. Like some of the people, they were shipwrecked, stoned, like, yo, like thrown in the fires, like, okay.
Yeah. The
There's like,
Bible is wild.
no, for what I believe, throw me in the fire furnace, he'll deliver me. If you don't, that's cool. Because it's so like that. So it's like for us, we're so lazy, we're sedated. And we
Yes.
have to wake up and we have to get in. And like it's just the more stuff we're gonna see. You know what I'm saying? So now there's gonna be more stuff.
Mm.
More people don't stand up and come together and tear things down on a mass level. We got the physical people, we got the spiritual people. Okay, we got this in, we got this in. Okay, cool. Now you're gonna be having the minor attracted people. Now you're gonna
Right.
be
Die.
so many other things coming to the forefront that's gonna be normalized. And then what are you gonna say then?
That part. I mean, that's where, in a lot of cases, it's too late for a lot of those people because they have already inched themselves past the point of no return.
Absolutely.
Lukewarm is lukewarm. And they got no chance now. It's too late. And I, I, you know, a very good memory, and I definitely was put here to observe.
Mhm.
Um, and I remember things, very poignantly. And I remember when specific things happen and how it causes shifts.
Right.
So, one shift that I definitively seen where there was like no point of return was Little Nas X.
Tell me I got hoodwinked because, I was like, okay, Old Town Road. Now, I never seen the video. I was like, oh, I do like that little tune. And then I was like, oh,
Oh yeah,
that's
we
what
got
we are.
they got bamboozled.
Absolutely. I told I said, we are never reciting any of those lyrics ever again.
That part.
I mean, we don't listen to it anyway, but I'm just saying sometimes you do spew things that you do hear and you pick it up, whatever, some
Right, right.
tune. And then you're like, wow, I didn't know my kids knew that. Okay, where'd you learn that from? So I have to monitor that. Like, we are not going to sing it. And we made a conscious effort, like, not to like recite that. And then I seen that video. I was like, this is cray. Wow.
Hmm.
It's really crazy when you have the audacity to manifest your feelings and thoughts outwardly. It's just it's another level of, like you said, that content.
Hmm. And that one was like in my face, like
Mm.
because things come to me or come in my path, and then I have a very high level of discernment to where I can see through what's really going on. So I remember like this damn algorithm really be set up to trigger me a lot of times, most of the times, most of the days, and it or mislead me or misguide me or whatever. But uh, I just seen like this clip, Kanye West's daughter singing this song, that old time, whatever that song is, old West take down the road stuff, whatever.
Mhm.
And it was just like it was just so weird because I'm
Mhm.
like, why are y'all showing me this little girl singing this song? Like, why would you think I'm interested in this?
Mhm.
Like, what? So it immediately my antennas went up because it's not in my normal what is this?
Mhm.
So 2 weeks later, I seen the music video with him and Billy Ray Cyrus, and antennas up again because I'm like, wait a minute, where this little skinny black kid come from out of nowhere doing a
Mhm.
duet with Billy Ray Cyrus? Like, I don't know if you know, but Billy Ray Cyrus is a pretty big deal in the country world.
Mhm.
That's like an unknown white rapper from the UK all of a sudden showing up on a Jay-Z track out of
Yeah.
nowhere, and it's like the number one hit in the world. You like, wait a minute, who the hell is this dude? Like, where did he
Mhm.
come from? Like, something ain't right. Like, something ain't computing. And that's
Yeah.
that's the vibe that I got. Like, all right, so
Yeah. The
Kanye
good one.
daughter's Kanye daughter singing this song, and then now I'm seeing who the song is by, and this definitely don't look right. Like, ain't nothing about this right. And then 2 months later, dude's gay. So
Yeah,
uh
extremely. Well, and I mean, like, he's very flaming and very demonic. I've the most demonic videos I've seen have come from him, that young man. And
it's
I'm
not
like,
even a question.
yo, like you said,
But
in your
that,
face. And I was like,
but that's how they. It was like a slow walk to you know a launch off a cliff. It's
"Mm,
like, oh hey, this is a cute song for the kids to sing, like
right,
and then it
very
was like,
song.
oh, he's gay. So then everybody had to stop and make a decision. And there's a lot of black people who
Mhm.
was like, who have already been indoctrinated with, oh well, everybody can do what they want to do. If it ain't got
Mhm.
nothing to do with me, it ain't got nothing to do with me. It's whatever. It's anybody could do what they want. And now your child is singing the song of someone who is doing the most.
Mhm. The most, then what is it? What is it? What is endorsing Nikes with human blood? I'm like, come on. I'm like,
Yeah,
I just
that was the first thing. That was the first one. That was the first like test. Like,
come on.
what y'all gonna do? All right, this guy's definitely evil. What y'all gonna do? And
Hello.
most people was on that same BS that black people be on. Like, oh, it ain't that serious.
Why do we do that? I mean, why do they do that? Oh, why do black people do that?
Yeah, why
See,
do
I was
black
just
people do that? Coping, um, inferiority, and
pedestalized.
that well, it's that feeling of helplessness that you can't do anything about it because you don't have any
We don't want
value.
to get canceled. So it's like we are in a cancel culture. Now, before we could just speak out on it and then they get shut down.
Right.
Now we speak on it, you get shut down.
That part.
So maybe that as well. They don't want to get canceled.
No, that's definitely a factor. I was talking about that earlier, and in relation to what solutions look like in our community, and really what it looks like is a representation of all these people with these good ass jobs to speak out against all this craziness that's going on, but they won't because they're handcuffed by PC culture and they're afraid to get canceled.
Yeah, they'll take everything. It's not a reprimand like we fired him, all his contract. You're like, what? Just try to bury you. That's not cool.
Yeah, no, they got us. They got us. They got us good right now. I ain't gonna lie. They got us in a pickle. But
Yeah, I just
this is where math is important because math is gonna math, and there's a thing called a tipping point. And there's only so much BS that people can sustain before they're like, enough is enough is enough.
I don't know. I don't know.
All right, plug this up real quick. Well, at least that's my observation, or what I'm leaning towards being optimistic about, because I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted with, like I said, just dealing with all of the projection because the way that they have branded melanated men, like when I'm having conversations with people, it's almost like people aren't talking to me. They're not talking to me. They're talking to the generalized version that the media says exists. And it's like I am exhausted from attempting to explain to people that I do not represent celebrities, athletes, or criminals. And not only do I not represent those parties, those are not the majority of us.
Yeah.
Like numerically.
And that's what Kevin Samuels was trying to point out, the color purple thing. So we, like you said, we make this mass generalization like, okay, if we talk about parent alienation, the women don't want to hear that. We're all good, but we don't alienate the moms, I mean, the dads from the kids. But you kind of do. Like, you don't want to accept that generalization
Right.
about your negativity because you think that you're a good woman, you're trying to protect them from that, or that all dads that aren't there are deadbeats. But that's not the case sometimes. Sometimes you're a difficult lady. And like we talked about, if you're making it difficult for a man, it's only so much, like you said, the tipping point where he said, if I don't go, I'm gonna be in some chains or behind some bars. 'Cause
Somebody's gonna die. Somebody's
yeah,
gonna die. Either it's gonna be me from a heart attack or you.
yeah,
Like, and
and
it's just that.
simple.
It's
And
like,
but I didn't do anything. It's him. Like, no, you gotta say your part too. Your mouth is crazy. Hence Erica Mena. Look what she
who is
did
that?
to Safari.
I don't know who that is.
I wish I could
I'm out of
share.
the loop.
Oh, so it's Love and Hip Hop thing. Okay, I don't watch it, but like you said, it pops up on your feed. I have a lot of
Mhm.
stuff like you just pass the information. Okay, so he's watching the children. She's on the outside of the home, gets in, starts hitting on the guy. He's just trying to get away from it, but she keeps hitting this. Like, you guys think that she's a victim? Look at her. She's beating me to death. And it's like dealing with difficult women, and then we always see that the man's painted in a bad way. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
Like,
I think I know what you're talking about. Is that the clip where the girl like threw something or smacked the dude in the face in front of everybody, and then like he went and choked her out or something in front of everybody? Or
mm-mm.
oh, I seen that. This was a couple months ago because that one was
Uh-oh.
crazy too. That one was crazy too. It was like a reality TV show where uh it was a bunch of couples in a room, and then the woman like was chastising the dude, and I don't. She did something super disrespectful.
But they were sitting
Like
around talking like couples in a
yeah,
huddle. Maybe, I'm not entirely sure.
she did something super disrespectful. I want to say like pour some water in his face or something crazy. Like it was something extreme. No, it was something. It was something diabolical. Like something super disrespectful. And like the show went on, and he ended up, putting his hands around her neck on
Mm-hmm.
the show in front of everybody. And so, now the entire show is about chastising him and how he went overboard. And like
Mm-hmm.
nobody's analyzing that this man, no, he just got disrespected on national TV. He just got emasculated on national TV. Like
Mm-hmm.
he gonna have to carry that. That's what he's internalizing that whole time. So of course, yeah, he snapped.
Yeah,
Is it justified? But no,
maybe.
humans are humans.
I mean, yeah, is it justified? It's just like the nature of a man. You just have to understand it. We don't even understand ourselves. We don't even understand the man. If we would try to have like you said, come from a place of understanding, okay, let me understand Mr. Thunder. He's different from Chuck. All right. Chuck is a passive beta dude. Okay, whatever. Chuck is assertive. He don't play. He stated many times, cross this boundary. What was he said? This is the chart. The more you f around, the more you're gonna find out. Okay.
Hey,
So if he done said that, and you are on that chart and you moving into that red zone, I done told you. I told you the truth,
buyer beware.
right? So it's on the writings on the package.
Buyer
So
beware.
so it's like when we're dismissive, we are actually causing the trouble too.
I mean, that's very factual,
You
and
want
and
the
and
bear. Okay, fine. When he attack your butt, then that's it. You want the bear in the forest rather than the man? Okay, go ahead and pet that bear. And when he start chasing you, there's no way you're gonna escape.
you know, I ain't gonna lie. The way my mind is wired is very weird, and uh, that
Dark.
whole you said dark. Eh, uh, nah, nah, it's not dark. It's
Sometimes creative people are dark.
I'm gonna say I'm not dark. I'm indifferent. I'm
Okay,
very indifferent.
I'm dark.
Um, and now I used to be. I think I definitely used to be dark and negative. Now I'm more indifferent, and I would say just more just call it how it is type of deal. But yeah, that whole bear in the woods thing, like to me was, all right, bro, just relax a little bit because it's obviously insane people running around here, and you can't invest much energy trying to talk to crazy people. Like
It's crazy.
like there's some psychosis going on, mass psychosis.
I told my daughter, she's like, yeah, bears don't I said, listen here, don't you be coming here and be getting on the side of no bears. You hear me, girl?
Ridiculous. It's that I don't even understand how that's a real conversation.
I'm telling you, that's what we're brains are fried. I don't. That's how much like you said, that's how much men have been devalued in America.
Man, tell me about it.
Humane, you're not humanistic. You're just a theory, or you're becoming a theory,
a tool,
a construct, a utility.
Yes, so, that is it. A utility. Yes.
Language, it messes up everything. And the devil's really smart. He said he quoted back what God told him not to do, but he added in and changed the language. And then she's like, oh, then after that, it gave her a new concept and said, okay, now I'll embrace this. And it was to her detriment. So it's the same freaking ploy. And I don't know why we don't have that level of discernment, and that we're not, discernment to this. Like, okay, I've seen this before. All right, it's playing out right now. But
I'm third time I'm gonna say this today. We have become master feigners. That's my new word. That's my new phrase. Master feigners.
Feigners? Is that a word, or are we just faint?
I think I made it up.
Okay, I was like, what's that?
So feign, like to
feigners. Okay.
Yeah, like to feign, to act as if you are don't have your wits about you, like you don't understand what's going on. Like, it's like, tell me something. Oh, all right. Explain to me the video that you was on your TikTok with the girls dancing on the table. And I'm going to feign while you're telling me.
Okay. Okay, so basically I had on my TikTok, I posted a post about 3 little girls that were twerking on a table.
Mm-hmm.
Twerking on a table and saying they're outside. So my point in my video was to point out how music influences our mentality on a subconscious level, and then we start enacting on the lyrics that we hear. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you heard what I said? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, music is crazy.
Oh. Crazy that you understand that it can influence, a person's actions or mind on a subconscious level.
I mean, I really just, I don't get into that type of thing.
Oh, okay. All right. Right.
I just, I like to be positive.
Okay.
That's what we do. Like we act like we don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it's true.
Turning the radio out here, right in front of your face.
Yeah, I watch so many debates. I want to become a better, conversationalist. I won't say debate. When it has to go there, I'll go there. But the lady's like, yeah, Christians should defend women's rights. Okay, well, we don't believe that she should get an abortion. So it's like, well, okay, well, that's wrong. But yet you want us to advocate for something that there's certain practices that we're clearly against. But like you asked us to, it was
I mean,
crazy. I don't know how the guy, I don't know how it went that way. He was like, you asking us to defend it. Okay, so if I, okay, now you want us to participate. Okay, so when we have to stand up for our side of it, you're like, well, no, you can't do that. But you want me to do that, but when you do it, no, you can't do it. It
right.
was really, it was kind of weird, like that situation. Like, well, no, but he said, but you just he
It's all
laughed.
confusion.
He laughed.
It's
Actually, he was like, ha ha ha! I can't believe this. It was kind of funny. He just had to laugh because it just made, like you said, it made no sense at all. And you're just like, I'm done.
people are walking contradictions. Like they don't really have any belief system that they're actually tethered to. It's ever shifting.
Yeah, and that's the point. He said, okay, we're trying to establish these descriptions right here, but in your secularism, it changes. It could change every week. It could change next week. Okay, this. Okay, that. Okay, now we all got to, like he said, it's very shifty. So how do you? He said, you can't even stand like ground in this argument because next week something might be different.
Yep.
So yeah, I said that. See, and you're talking about that people's ideas change a lot, and it's like, yeah, this is
I
good.
made
This is
I made
good.
a I made a post on Facebook a couple hours ago talking about that, and I said that people who attend church regularly and
Mhm.
celebrate Halloween are
Mhm.
confusing AF to me.
Yeah.
I what? And then instantly, the thought that I had, the scariest thing for Halloween is a black Christian feminist.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You have to stand 10 toes down on it. It's like you're here, you have this belief and everything, and it's like, okay, well, we should abstain from all appearances of evil, like even the appearance of it. And and okay, but you don't want to hurt your child's feelings because they're observing their friends do it. So you compromise. And and then it'll show you like, I thought you were a Christian. So it's like we're not on what we say. If the average person is observing that, what is he saying? Christine, no.
But
But
and that goes back to what you were saying, like why do we, capitulate? Is because inch by inch we make concessions,
right.
and it gets to like a point of no return
What is a
to
woman?
where, right? It's like, hey, wait, what? But it's like that's what's crazy is, inch by inch, this is where they
Mhm,
led us to. And now you still got these people who refuse to open their mouth and be like, all right, yo, no, this is crazy.
mhm.
They still like, oh, well, yeah, well, people gonna do it. Yeah. Man, if you don't shut up, I'll like, get out of my face.
Yeah.
And that's really why like the main biblical aspect that I attach myself to now is being set apart.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's all he tried to really exemplify. He said, okay, I chose you guys. Now this is what's going to make you different from all the other nations. Okay. But even bringing them out of the condition was hard for them to transition at time. It shows you that how hard it is sometimes for people to really be disciplined and dedicated, sanctified and really dive deep. That's why we see the world in the condition it is, because en masse, a lot of people aren't really dedicated to what they say they're dedicated to. Our marriages, we're not really dedicated to each other like we say. That's why divorce. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Shifting.
yeah, and it's like, and it's hard. It is hard. He's like, okay, I'm about to go up on this mountain real quick to get some commandments. Y'all already made caps and I was like, what?
Right. Bro, I was gone 10
Already
minutes. Like,
the DJ going over there? Like, this is crazy. You have an orgy? It's like,
right.
didn't I just bring you out? You was crying to help you. I helped you. Now it's just like we made the concession. And homeboy Aaron was supposed to stand on me. You watch everything while I go away. He made the concession.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, golly, if it don't tell us about the human condition.
Man. And even now, that's part of the warfare that's going on. Like I'll share with you a little bit about myself, right?
Yes.
Since we're getting to know each other, building rapport. I am 6'1".
Okay.
I was no stranger to the gym in my youth as a young man. And as I got older, closer to 30, and I stopped going to the gym and start eating crap and working a bunch. Like I weighed 250 pounds.
Oh my God.
Beefcake.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I was big. I was big. I mean, I wasn't like, it wasn't crazy, but I was big. I had,
what you used to.
I had situations.
Okay.
But I had a multitude of lifestyle changes that I implemented, backed by discipline.
Mm-hmm.
One was I stopped eating meat.
Mm-hmm.
I started fasting.
Mm-hmm.
I cut back on my sugar. Carbohydrates, same thing. So, now fast forward to present time, like I've taken a long hiatus off of social media and the internet for like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't mean.
And even when I was on social media, like I wasn't the selfie guy. Like people, I might shoot a picture every once in a while, like in a setting that I'm in, but it's not like selfie. And easily a decade without my face on the internet. So now I show up in this capacity and people are looking and analyzing. The first thing they say is, man, you need a cheeseburger. Are you okay? Like almost projecting sickness onto me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, don't project sickness onto me because you lack discipline and think it's impossible to stop eating meat.
Mm-hmm.
That's a you thing. That's not a me thing.
Yeah. I've experienced that. I mean, I've never been super skinny, but I work for FedEx and I'm just, taking a package. I run it down the hill. I run it up. I was, trying to use the time to kind of work out. I kind of got conditioned from that particular route I was on. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to eat better. And then I was working out a little bit at home. Nothing intense, but I definitely look different. And then Black women would say, oh, you look sick. Well, you need to eat. Now I need to eat. Okay. So it's like, but I feel good, feel energized. I feel good. So that's the difference. And it's like in our culture, we're just so used to thinking that, oh, that's thick or whatever, but we're sick. We're so sick. I was literally, I had to help myself, lose some of this weight because I was definitely going in the wrong way. I was in July and past couple years, I was 255. Okay. I got down to 208 now. I'm trying to get out of the 200 range, which is excessive weight, obese, according to the church charts. And even even though on the outside we think we're okay, inside viscerally, metabolically, we're old. It makes you older than what you are.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we don't even understand that. We don't even equate any of that. Oh, black don't crack. So we just have all these crazy things that we say are they are, but it's really not factual. It's like making us sick and yeah, in low state.
At a low state. Yes. And specifically, that's really what I want to have people acknowledge or become aware of is all of these poisonous practices that we've been taught from an early age that has got us to this point is really what is inhibiting you from thinking clearly.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
Like that's specifically what is stopping you from thinking clearly. That's where the brain fog comes from. And, specifically as you melanated
Mm-hmm.
people, we have the same thing as the trees. Same like chlorophyll and melanin is the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, go grind up a cheeseburger and pour it into a plant and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to survive. And, over time, we're literally deteriorating
Mm-hmm.
our whole ecosystem.
Yeah.
To the point where it's not functioning at its most optimal state.
Yeah.
And our mind is the first thing that's going to suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything is about blood flow, right? And your brain needs a bunch of blood.
Mm-hmm.
And
gut connection as well. Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't aware of how many calories your brain burns.
Mm.
Like your brain does a lot of work. And especially like if you're doing something where it causes for heavy concentration, you're burning a lot of calories, and you need proper nutrition to be able to sustain or to keep a good balance.
Mm. Maybe that's why I felt mentally exhausted. But when I do get that way, I do need to rest, but I reset by listening to something that's really uplifting. That recharges. That's why I think I like going to church, even though like my physical body, I don't want to be there. But when I do get there, when I do enter the door, it does help me like kind of refuel a little bit mentally. Or being on TikTok and people just like you said, finger pointing, I'll actually log on to that's probably not his name, but Zoe Williams. He's just so intellectual and just makes me like, wow. It makes me wow, and it makes me like excited. Like, oh, let me get my book and learn. Let me write this down. Oh, I just learned a new word, or wow, I can use this, or I didn't think about that. Oh my goodness! And so that just like gets my brain excited. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna bring it back. I need something higher than myself, somebody wiser, and to encourage, like you said, the encourager to the artist, the encourager to the what did you say you are?
What am I?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like
You,
an artist?
you said you're the encourager to the encouragers.
Motivating the motivators.
Yes. So I have to be around that from time to time because I'm like, all right, good. Gotta boost the energy. Yeah. There's somebody out there that this positivity charge, the positive charge.
It's needed. It's definitely needed. I need it too. I mean, when I have different types of people now that I go to for that. I get charged differently than I used to. Like before, it used to be maybe an Eric Thomas type of individual.
Oh yeah, he's good.
But now I think I've embodied my own version of that type of energy to where now I recharge myself honestly with things spiritual in nature, like the word. Like that's my sustenance. That's my level up, because I'm learning things and recontextualizing and reinforcing And that's it's exciting because it's like, oh, I'm building, I'm building, and I was already here. Like, oh my, like, how high does this thing go? Like,
Keep going.
it's like, man, I don't know anything. Like, I can keep going. Like, that's what excites me is the lack of understanding.
Mm-hmm. I've
Knowing,
been buying so many books. It's ridiculous. I'm like, girl, how much you gonna sit and read? And then I'm like, man, I don't even open up these books. But then when I do, I'm like, okay.
mm,
And I'm buying another one before I know it. Knowledge is beautiful. It is. I mean, it's nice. I know they say analysis paralysis, but no, I like the knowledge. It feeds me. It helps me grow and helps me get more understanding. It gives me more understanding, actually, more temperament. And like you said, like it. Yeah, it does. It really does. And it can. Thank goodness because it helps me from being in like escapism. Like sometimes I would like a person, and be intimate with, but I mean replacing, knowledge and feeding that part of me instead of like the other part. It's
mm,
helpful and it helps you stay, grounded, amidst of when you want to do those things that probably are not beneficial or good.
yeah,
I don't want to download some other things, but I'd rather just get some knowledge. Because you
yeah,
do
nice.
that person, I don't want to download that, with the right person, but
That's it right there. That's life in a nutshell, right? Just
mm-hmm.
choices, the decisions that you're supposed to make versus the ones that sometimes you do make.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the human condition. Like all of us know what's optimal.
Right,
It's
absolutely.
just tapping into that level of discipline consistently
Mm-hmm.
to maintain that is what's difficult.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maintain, maintain, vindicate. Talking about being assertive. Man, I read that today. I was like, man, I got to do something with this. It says to claim, lay claim to, appropriate. To join together, put in a row. It's about order.
Mm-hmm. You
And,
don't like that.
and a knowledge of self is starting from a single point. One, like that's order. So then now you can go through the sequence from a foundational standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
You've established what is true in yourself, and it has no choice but to come out assertively
Mm-hmm.
because it it can't come out any other way. It's not questionable.
Right. I like it.
Well, you like it. I love it. I appreciate your time and your presence and your
Yeah.
energy and your spirit. And you're always welcome here. We've been talking for almost 2 hours. Can you believe that?
Yeah. I gotta do at least two. I definitely could do at least two.
And I didn't push none of my buttons and play with none of the noises or nothing. Let me just do something just because. Branding. How about that?
Boom.
You guys see this Sentence to Thrive thing streaming across the bottom of the ticker? It's got a Cash App on it. Please utilize it because I don't know if you guys know this or not. Ain't no such thing as a free movie. There's no one who has ever made a movie or a documentary or a commercial or a music video with zero budget. And there's definitely a reason why there was controversy around Spike Lee being on Indiegogo 10 years ago.
Wow.
Why? They were gaslighting him, trying to say that he was like cheating the system because someone of his status that already was an established filmmaker shouldn't be utilizing a platform like Indiegogo that's supposed to be for the common person.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why they were saying that is because they know that he has a social currency that he can tap into to where he can bring up awareness of his Indiegogo campaign and get the funds that he needs to make the money. Make the movie or project that he wants to make, which is what they didn't want him to do. And, when this was going on is when I was in film school. And
what is film school? I wanted to go to film school so bad. I've just seen the little things on the subway and on the bus. I'm like, I want to go to film school. I like film. I really do. I like photography. I like it. If I could be a videographer, that would be dope.
I used to love the movies. I used to go to I stopped watching football. Like I stopped watching NFL like probably 2005, 2006. And I substituted it with going to the movies. Like I would just movie hop all day. I would go to the movies at like 1 p.m. and then go home like 11 at night.
Oh my God.
No, it's crazy. But once I went to film school, I don't watch nothing. I don't watch TV. I don't watch movies. I don't watch nothing. Keep it away from me.
No, don't say that.
This is you don't understand. Like it's such a I'll put it to you. It's like it changes the way you think. It changes the way you think because it takes you out of the real world, and you realize that the real world is fake. Because the real world is driven by media and advertising.
Are we being fake right now?
No, of course not.
Sure.
I'm positive. No, that's why I'm doing. That's why I do documentaries, and that's what I'm focused on. The real thing, not the fake thing, because it's too much of that.
Yeah, I gotta send you this clip of this guy that he makes fun of how people do documentaries. It's so funny. I grew up here. All I had was one shoe, and it's like,
what?
It's funny. I have to send it to you so you can laugh. You might laugh, you might not, but it's like
Nah, I probably will.
Documentary of how they grew up artists. It's kind of funny.
But yeah, that changes the way you think. Like, it's not a bad thing. Like, it's only bad in relation to just seeing movies differently. Like, I'm annoying to watch. I'm annoying to watch movies with now. I'm gonna pause it, analyze the lighting, look at the symbolism. Yeah. Like, oh look, they got a blue light in the left corner. Like you can see it. It's reflected in his eye. Like
no, you can't. You're gonna take your mouth up.
Like, hold on, just pause it real quick. Like I gotta see something. Like just rewind it back like 30 seconds, real quick.
We'll make a board game just for you. Filming trivia.
Like, you didn't see that transition? Like, just go back real quick. Like,
what transition was used in scene 3?
Yeah, exactly. Nah, it's not even fun no more. Like, I'm like analyzing. Like, I'm scrutinizing the direct. Like, who? Like, what was he thinking? Like, people.
No.
Yeah. It's bad.
We gotta get you therapy.
I annoy myself like watching movies. That's why I'm watching. Like I don't even enjoy it no more. It's horrible. I enjoy creating it though, and I enjoy thinking and like a film, well, film mine, because it's
Right.
tenth of a second. Like I'm analyzing life tenth of a second at a time.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And it's a process. That's what's really crazy about it. It's like it's not just, you join film school and you get there. It's like you get there and you like, what did I sign up for? Like this is honestly, I don't if I didn't go to film school in my 30s, like if I ever went to college like a normal person in my teens or early 20s, like there's no way. That's not a young man's profession or a young person's profession.
Okay. I don't know. I guess it has to force you to think of like so many things and a spectrum of like basically, I don't know, like I don't know how to say it, emulating the world you see. Like I said, like curating. It's a lot of work. People that are curators,
Yeah.
some people are really good at it. Like you're like, wow, how did you make this experience? Well, it all started like their mind just has so many abilities to make you feel. Yeah, it's just that's powerful.
It is a very useful tool. But that's why I was saying though, that's what makes me dangerous to the system is because I can recognize when things are being weaponized specifically against us,
Mm.
and I'm willing to voice them, to tell you about it, what to look out for, what what not to watch, or have you noticed on Netflix? There's a whole category dedicated to darkness.
Oh yeah, darkness is spreading.
Darkness is spreading. Like,
Darkness
do
is
you notice
spreading.
how all the I was about to say cover art, but how all the poster art
Oh,
for the films is very
oh no.
dark,
Oh,
dark
yeah.
and negative in nature. Like it's all about design. Have you noticed even on social media, now, uh, there's a lot more content that is showing like catastrophes. Like people. It's not even preferenced with what you're watching or giving you the context of the situation. You're just watching a disaster, and your mind is left to wonder, like, damn, like, did somebody just die?
Yeah, I be like that too.
Like, that's what I'm
And then you're
witnessing.
relying on the comments. Oh, they're okay.
Right? No,
They're
I'm pretty
fine.
sure they're not. I'm pretty sure they're not. Like, I seen what I seen, and I'm pretty sure they're not. And I'm seeing more of that type of content to where you don't know, like it's indistinct. Like that looked pretty bad. Like I don't think they made it.
Yeah. It's to shock you and desensitize you from those types of things. And I did this printout. I haven't read it yet. Was talking about the deaf culture.
Oh,
And so it's just I haven't really got I just was printing. I was printing a whole bunch of things of the negative ego and the dark this and the Luciferianism and Satanism and all these things that are just being inserted. I said, okay, now I got to go dark because it is dark, but I know from my perspective that I got power over it and the one that had the power over it. So it's like, okay, I can, attempt to like, I don't have fear when I'm like reading it, but to conceptualize it, to bring it to conversations, to let people know what's happening. Like you said, like, what's happening.
mm,
Um, I have to read it because I was like, it was interesting to see that how all those things is like the deaf culture, the baby unaliving, like really have a baby unaliving at a rally, at a DNC party for an election. That's weird. So just bit by bit, it's being introduced. more. So it's like, okay, I have to read about this. Even though I know about it, I got to go deeper.
Yeah, that's the way the Most High has situated me. Like I notice things and patterns first, and then I learn about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like I'm noticing what's going on, and then it's like, okay, well, let me look into this because it's obviously not going away,
Absolutely.
and it's a thing.
It's a thing. It's not a good thing.
So let me look into this. But yeah, I can definitely align with that because
Mhm.
you know I was once a practicing Christian,
Mhm.
and I understand how fear is attached to the dogma, to where people are even terrified of exploring the notion of seeing if these things are real, which is ironic to me because it's in the Bible.
Mhm.
And this is where I've come to the understanding that a lot of people go to church and they're just there.
Yeah.
Like they have not read the Bible they have not studied the Bible on their own. They just go into church, listen to the presentation that's been prepared for them,
Mhm.
and then they go home. And that's it. Like they haven't studied the Bible throughout the week. And that makes a difference.
Yes.
Because when you really look into it and see all that's in there, like you like looking around like, man, is something under my bed? Like what?
Yep. Like,
Like where are we right now? What is going on? And why isn't nobody else worried? So
yeah. It's
it's
worrying. People, they just, like I said, we decentered things so much. If this, oh, where is God? Well, I prayed to him last week. He didn't help me with my finances. Well, okay. Well, you just spent 6 months gambling everything away at the casino. So, but like, they just, it's like an afterthought. It's not even a thought anymore. So it's like for the people that, like you said, we have read and we do see things, it's like, oh, all right. I hear you. I hear you. All right. Do okay, I gotta read. I gotta get even more deeper because it's gonna come to the point. Like I said, the depth. Okay, now we ain't canceling people. Now, what did you say before? Off with his head. Oh, okay, that is coming. But I gotta. It's not like it hasn't happened or that people haven't put their life on the line for their beliefs. But if everybody's turn, well, I gotta fortify myself. Okay, I have to do both. I gotta let you know what's happening, and I gotta fortify myself at the same time.
yes.
Yeah,
And you need to be aware of the enemy's tactics.
yeah. You have to be. Even Peter, like when they came for Jesus, they was like, "Yo, where he at?" He's like, "I am he." He said he already knew what was going to happen, And he told Peter, he said, "You gonna deny me?" He said, I ain't gonna do it until it really is time to get in the fight." He was like, "Hey, weren't you with him?" "No, I wasn't." So you did deny because you didn't want to be on that side of the line. So that's just how it is, just staying ready consistently.
Stay ready. You ain't gotta get ready.
Absolutely.
Nah, yes, it's about the person. That's where understanding who you are first, and not on some foo-foo, you know, feeling based thing. Like, who do you come from? Like, what, what, what is the name of the people that you come from that lived 500 years ago?
Well,
Where did they come from?
the Pueblos, no, I'm playing.
But it's important because it's like once you start to make those connections, and you can see some
Identity.
of the practices that you came from, and that you've more importantly been disconnected from.
Hmm. Yeah.
And this is where you can start to learn that a lot of the things that are being used that are evil in nature aren't evil. It's the people that are using them that are evil.
Hmm.
It's evil people. It's like saying, it's like having a toolbox, right?
Hmm.
And I took your toolbox and had it for 30 years.
Hmm.
And then one day you came home and it was just a hammer in your living room. And that's it. You're like, wait a minute. Like, I had like a 30-piece tool set. And I'm like, nah, this hammer is all you need. Trust me. Don't even worry about these other tools. Meanwhile, I'm doing all types of shit. Like, don't worry. I promise. All you need is this hammer. That's it. Don't even worry about these other tools. Like, I got, like, they're useless. They're evil, as a matter of fact. It's just a tool. I'm the evil, I reject. Sorry, buddy. But the person who's using the tool with the evil intentions
Hmm.
is what's making the tool evil.
Yeah,
And, and
I was just watching Lord of the Rings. No, the yeah, what is it? Rings of Power,
mm,
remember? And how the I might be, I don't think so. He was a master jeweler, so he made the one when he initially made the rings. The guy that made them crafted them to be really good, and they had like like discernment that could help, but the guy that came, Sauron, he was like under the guise that he wanted to be an apprentice. Oh, show me what you do. And but when he created the rings, he cut his hand and he mixed in his blood into the mixture, and that made the people more like driven by greed and power,
mm,
drunk. Oh, but the people were like, ever since you put that ring on, you've been acting real funny.
right.
So it was like definitely the creator of that thing.
Corrupted.
Hmm.
That's why our knowledge has been corrupted.
Hmm.
The understanding of our knowledge has been misinterpreted and corrupted on purpose.
Hmm.
To me, the thing that puts almost everything into context is the Book of Enoch and the Keys of Enoch.
Hmm.
Like, you read those, I don't think you got any questions on anything or how things are, because you can, to me, how it was laid out to me, I could see how bits and pieces have been taken and used, like, for evil.
Hmm. I mean, in any fallen state, the like you said, the environment is gonna have it's a propensity or
Mm,
it's gonna swing towards the negative. You know what I'm saying? So if, like you said, if you don't have any foundation or anything to combat that, like you
right.
said, you keep going. It's unstoppable. Like it's unlimited. Like I will be like God. What did Nimrod do? He tried to build all the way up into heaven. It's just how it is.
Physical.
The human spirit, if we were created in his image, we're creators too, but in a fallen way,
Yes.
So,
So you got to
and
build your spiritual body and your spiritual mind up.
yeah, it helps. It definitely helps. I'm, I'm telling you.
Gives you a greater perspective.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Uh, from my learnings, it is that's what we're here to do. to get closer, to get as close as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not through just wanting, like it's work. And it takes ingesting the material and the information in a way that is
Infused.
infused and building upon itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. But I just be quiet, you know. But I like having the conversations because I do read more. I don't proclaim or like
That
perfection, you
part.
know. But I love it. But I have the grace. I'm like, okay, I'm learning. Okay, cool. When it's time to fight, it's time to fight. Okay, now it's time for me to learn. Or like, okay, cool. Like I'm just, learning. And when it's my time to step in the front, then I'll step in front.
That part.
That's
That
about it.
part. Like I'll lend my perspective when it's needed, but I'm
Mhm.
not gonna step up to the front of the class and try to teach it. Like I'm not there yet. I know I'm not there yet. So
Mhm.
that's why I'll sit back and be quiet and just listen, because I'm not here to demonize or judge anybody either. So
Mhm.
and especially if I don't know you, I don't know the intentions of why you're speaking. Like I'll hear you out, but I know myself enough to where throw that
Mhm.
shit away, like in a heartbeat. Like,
Yeah.
that was trash. Like,
Yeah, and even you have to be quiet in those moments too, because sometimes you don't want to react out of ego, So you even have to learn that about yourself in these types of conversations and engagements too.
yeah, pick your battles. Like,
Mhm.
sometimes you just gotta let people be wrong.
Mhm.
I mean, especially if they're very adamant about it. Like, all right, bro, you got it. Cool story. Uh, and that's where building rapport comes is important, because if when you know someone, then you're gonna offer corrective actions, or you're
Mhm.
gonna have a exchange to share perspectives and insights that might sway or
Mhm.
add, or it might even sway to you. It might even sway you. But especially like I'm specifically thinking about Instagram. When you have strangers in a room and they're all just spewing their unpracticed belief systems, their ego-driven assessments of information they've seen on YouTube. Um, it's a mess, because now you got people presenting energy from the ego, and there's no one really there for understanding. And if I have your best interest at heart, and I know that you don't truly understand something, then it's really my job to offer correction. But this is where it's not a real community of people, and really people who are engaging don't have each other's best interest at heart. So it's just a bunch of pontificating.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right.
I can't stand Instagram.
It's something.
It's
It depends on how people use
trash.
it. It's bad. Um, that's why I said I like to try to have like nice uplifting conversations. Sometimes I want to go on, but I'm so introverted that I won't, and I hate that. But I'll get on somebody else's. We can just elaborate for days. But my own, I'm like,
Mhm.
maybe I don't have enough confidence. I don't know. Maybe I need to get to the bottom of that.
Nah, you all right. You talking about
No, that's
you?
whack.
You got no. It's not you. You got
I
way
don't
more
like. I'll
presence.
make reaction videos like, oh, the side by side, but actually, I need to be talking about things instead of just reacting to.
Well, nah. It's. I mean, there's just different styles. Like, because I'm almost in the opposite way of thinking. I'm like, okay, well, I need to stop talking and maybe start doing some reaction videos. So it's just to each his own. Everybody has a style. Everybody has a space that they can feel. But you show up and are present in a way that is authentic, which is way more valuable than someone who is perfected a specific method that may be viewed as successful. Because that's what I really don't like Instagram. It's just a bunch of regurgitated styles and regurgitated ways to present the content. And as a filmmaker, like, it's just stagnant. It lacks creativity. It's like watching cardboard. It's like watching a cardboard comic strip. It's like I know whoever created the template for this type of content like has zero creativity. And they're enforcing it, like this style, to be popular for a reason, because it's digestible to people who aren't creative. And it makes them engage in a way that makes them believe, oh, I could do it too. So then what do? They go and do it. And then now you got people just producing a bunch of garbage content all day, every day.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe what I have to say is garbage, so I just keep my thoughts to myself until I actually know what I'm talking about.
No.
Yeah, sometimes it's like that. I'm like,
for you. I mean,
Yeah.
but I mean that's natural though, because that's because you're authentic. I'm the same way. It's like
I am hard on myself. I ain't gonna lie. I might have to depart soon. I'm gonna calm down a little bit. Hold on 1 second. No, you got it in your show.
Yeah, I'm here. We're gonna do it. But yeah, we been talking about a lot of important things today, and it started out with the most effective way to pray is to transmit gratitude on an open channel versus making a request. I didn't say it exactly like that earlier. I'm paraphrasing myself. But if y'all were here and stuck around this long, you know what I'm talking about. Like I said, in radio technology, which is what all of us is using right now, using devices, it takes more power and energy, specifically power, because that's how these things run. They plug into the wall, right? Power takes more power to receive than it does to transmit.
Yes.
But that said, receiving a signal is not dangerous. Transmitting a signal is. So the thing that I want to transmit is how you pray, and what you pray for matters. And that's what I was taught. And it's pretty obvious to me that some people weren't taught anything. So each one teach one, right? Who am I to hold knowledge? Apparently, a lot of people need this information. Everyone doesn't know this. This is what I was taught. So, take it with a grain of salt. But you're not supposed to pray for things. You're not supposed to ask for things. You're not supposed to make requests for things, or make requests for positive things that you view as positive additions to your life, because you don't know. That could have been a whisper that you heard in the wind that wasn't even meant for you. Now you're asking for something that really isn't gonna satisfy you or benefit you. Might destroy you or bring you down to a lower state. You're not supposed to pray for things. It's better to pray and express gratitude for what you already have, so that you can maintain it. So pray assertively, transmit accordingly. Unplug.